Welcome back to this exploration of Swedenborg's book, Heaven and Hell. Today we dive into chapter 1, which is entitled, The Lord is God of Heaven. Swedenborg begins with these words. First and foremost, we need to know who the God of heaven is, since everything else depends on this. Throughout the whole of heaven, no one is acknowledged as God of heaven except the Lord. Now, Swedenborg uses this term, the Lord, throughout his writings whenever he is referring to God. So it's important we understand who he means by this. Who is the Lord? For Swedenborg, the Lord is none other than Jesus Christ, whose earthly life we see recorded in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. As he writes in paragraph 2, the divine is one, and it is one in the Lord. But he continues by describing a lot of different attitudes to the Lord. And he says things like this. Those who in this world have distinguished the Lord into three and have adopted a separate idea of each and have not made that idea one in the Lord and centered it there cannot be received into heaven. Those within the church who have denied the Lord and have acknowledged only the Father are outside of heaven. Those who have denied the divinity of the Lord and, like the Socinians, have acknowledged only his human are outside heaven. And those who profess belief in an invisible divine, which they call the soul of the universe, are similarly outside heaven. So it seems like it's really important to get your idea of God right. However, there's something that's even more important. He writes, it ought to be known, however, that all those who have not separated truth from good or faith from love receive, when instructed in the other life, the heavenly idea of the Lord, that he is the God of the universe. You see, it's important to Swedenborg, more than anything else, that we practice what we say we believe. We all have misconceptions. We all have things we misunderstand. But every single one of those things can be cleared up when we enter the next life if we're prepared to learn. Notice what he says about Gentiles. Things happen in a different manner with those born outside the church and called Gentiles, of whom more will be said in subsequent pages. And children. All little children, of whom a third part of heaven is formed, are initiated into the acknowledgement and faith that the Lord is their Father. You see, Swedenborg's view of life after death is not static. We continue to grow and learn if that is our wish. So we don't need to attain a perfect understanding. We don't need to have lived a sin-free life. All that matters is that we've made a start. And this is one of my favourite things about Swedenborg's work. He provides us with this really thorough intellectual view of spiritual matters and the spiritual world, but he doesn't insist that we agree with everything he says, and he doesn't even insist that we acknowledge ourselves as Christians. Now, if you want to know more about the Lord, I can recommend that you have a look at the little book, The Lord, or Doctrine of the Lord. It's short and it's easy to read. It's full of biblical quotations and will be very familiar territory for many, many Christians. It's the first of 4 little books known as the 4 Doctrines, and you can download your copy from the Swedenborg Foundation website if you'd like. I'll pop a link in the description below. We talked last time about some of Swedenborg's influence in film, and I thought we'd continue today by looking at literature, and particularly novels. So the recent Netflix film Things Heard and Seen derives its title from the subtitle of Heaven and Hell. But the film is based on the book All Things Cease to Appear by Elizabeth Brundage. There are, of course, many other writers and novels influenced by Swedenborg's work. I mentioned last time, again, The Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, who is known to have had a copy of Heaven and Hell in his possession at the time of writing it. I also mentioned What Dreams May Come. It's based on the novel by Richard Matheson. Another novel that Richard Matheson wrote is called Other Kingdoms, and he spends a great deal of time in one chapter in particular expounding Swedenborg's view on many things. Matheson is also known for his novel I Am Legend, which was made into a movie in 2007 starring Will Smith. The Irish novelist Sheridan Le Fanu is also influenced by Swedenborg in his novels Uncle Silas and Green Tea. And de Balzac also in Seraphita and Louis Lambert. And there are a number of other writers who have been influenced by Swedenborg too. August Strindberg, Wilhelm Eklund, and Dostoyevsky. As always, I invite you to read along with us, or if you'd like to, read ahead. Feel free to note any questions and send them to us in your comments. We'd love to be able to answer them for you. Until next time, enjoy the journey.